Hi there, I'm Rose, and I'm super excited to present on the frontier of consumer wallets and super apps today. I'm a senior product designer at Base, and I lead social and anything on-chain apps related. I make rectangles every day at Base, and that's all I do. I have a third culture upbringing. I'm born in Vancouver, raised in Taiwan, and moved to the States. And actually, funnily enough, I think my background makes me a really apt expert on Asian super apps. And here's why I think the Western hemisphere that we're in right now should lean into some learnings there. I've also had a background in art history and psychology at Columbia, so I'm very fascinated with human behaviors and the interoperability of blockchain. Cool. So, what is a super app? I feel like it's kind of like a foreign jargon that we've been hearing a lot of billionaires talk about. We know Elon really wants a super app. He wants X to be a fully Web3 app that caters to everything all at once. For me, I think super app is an integrated platform that caters to all the benefits in one place. So you could think of an app where you can browse, trade, message, and all of it is a seamless digital experience. Taking a look at the competitive landscape, this app might be foreign to everyone until 2 months ago, where there was a temporary TikTok ban in the government. RedNote has become one of the top rising apps that are charting App Store right now. It's called Xiaohongshu, and it's basically what you can think of as the Chinese Instagram plus Pinterest plus any sort of online shopping, Shopify-related platform. You can discover products through content and purchase them directly in the app. It's also a highly tailored algorithm to the user. A lot of people say this algorithm is better than Instagram and TikTok because it doesn't only favor paid content creators, it also favors people who are just there for the virality loop. So anyone who's having good content, funny content can go viral on RedNote. And the plethora of features like pins, live stream, shopping, and messaging, like and sharing, makes the app super robust. And I actually think the UX behind this app is insane and took years of building. When you land on a super app, it's usually like kind of janky. You don't know what tabs fit along with one another. But when you land on RedNote, everything flows, and it's just one seamless experience. The other one is WeChat. So they took a very different approach from RedNote. So Weixin is a very strong mobile payment network in China, and it's taken over Asia by storm. It has really high payment rail adoption. And through WeChat Pay, users can send money, pay bills, shop online, and even split restaurant bills. So you can think of it as like the Venmo, X PayPal of Asia. And what's insane about WeChat is that Chinese governments actually use this app to allow users to pay taxes, book government appointments, and all of these like government-supported features are integrated. They're also the pioneers of mini apps, which help users stay in the app and developers can build apps on top of a WeChat browser. If you were to get a hair appointment done, you can immediately talk to your stylist, get the thing done, pay the stylist in WeChat, message them, show up at your appointment, get your rewards synced in your mini app. Lastly, we have Grab. So this is one of India and Southeast Asia's biggest Uber/Lyft competitor. You can book taxis, private cars, motorbikes. You can carpool, very similar to Uber and Lyft. But what's better about Grab compared to Uber and Lyft is that people can access really fast cashless payments. So its finance tab creates opportunities for microloans, insurance, investment options, and they also have a really strong AI-powered dynamic pricing. So it's constantly adjusting fares and shipping out features that are very on demand, that's smarter than competitors. So you might start to notice a theme here. It all seemed to have a geographical bias, and all these super apps are thriving in the other parts of the world, but not here. And just to put a number in everyone's mind, there's actually 2 billion plus super app users in Asia right now. And all of these users are using this app daily to conduct business, their personal life, sharing content, all in one spot. And why is that happening? So how do super apps really scale in Asia? I think we really have to take a step back and take a look at the early aughts and figure out what was happening with Western technologies at the time and what is happening in Asia. In the 2000s, Asia was actually playing catch up to Western technologies. Now it's advancing beyond. But by the 2010s, the first iPhone launched, and it was all the rage with touchscreen phones and the ability to conduct all of these apps right in the App Store. So rapid mobile adoption before desktop happened during the economic boom in Asia, and it was timed perfectly with the development of touchscreen mobile phones. Now people don't need a bulky laptop to do their businesses, and phone apps become the place to conduct businesses in one spot. Something that Superapps do really well is that we have 4 apps in the US, where it's like, oh, I browse my content on TikTok, I then have Facebook Marketplace, I have PayPal. But Superapps in Asia actually fills gaps of these siloed apps in one platform. And on top of that, they doubled down on governmental support. I think this is probably not the most libertarian approach that the US will ever take, but Chinese and Indonesian governments actually supported domestic tech giants like Tencent, ByteDance by limiting foreign competition. So Facebook wasn't available in the 2010s, and that led to the meteoric rise of platforms like WeChat. There's also very aggressive M&A strategy. If you're a small fish in a big pond, you get immediately eaten up by the giants. But yeah, we're at a crypto conference, so it kind of all seems a little bit oxymoronic. We're here preaching about the concept of decentralization, but there's also this highly tested, very robust super app ecosystem happening in another hemisphere that is clearly working, but not here. How can we find the sweet spot in between? I think that really leads to creators building on an open protocol and creating apps that are decentralized, but catering towards multiple use cases and not being siloed. This is probably the Bible of last year, and if you guys haven't read this book, highly recommend. Read, Write, Own by Chris Dixon. And in this book, Chris had a very good chart that I love to reference. You see this corporate network chart where the company is in the middle and everyone else is blocked around it. The company controls all of the elements of a corporate network. Creators rely on the company to earn. They rely on the platform to distribute their content. The classic example, Facebook, algorithms, Instagram. Developers require the company to provide API keys, endpoints to certain gated features so they could cater towards creators. And the users are constantly flocking back to the platform because there's nowhere else to go. These corporate networks in the 2010s have really accumulated so much power in social media, payments, that users are left with no choice to use other apps. So actually, in the 1990s, open source protocols were all the rage, believe it or not. RSS, emails, people loved it, but no one was maintaining it. And the reason why no one liked open source protocols is that they don't generate revenue. It's really hard to get a group of devs to just contribute on a free project where there's no incentive structure. And by the 2000s, people actually soon realized owning a network is the best business model. And eBay pioneered this as one of the first corporate networks in the 2000s and was very, very successful by allowing a buy-sell gig economy within their platform. But this actually creates a track-extract cycle. You're forced to stay in the ecosystem, use the tools. Corporates can hike up your rates and take your API away any day. This happened with Twitter, where they launched their business, Twitter for Businesses, and now developers have to pay a ton of money just so they could do Twitter authorizations. I think the most classic example here is actually the Zynga and Facebook collaboration. If you grew up in the 2010s, you've probably played Tetris Battle, 2P, or Farmville. Now all of that is gone on Facebook. And the reason why is Facebook and Zynga had a big disagreement around 2010 that for gaming credits and the amount they're paying. Zynga was also building their own social platform, and Facebook was very threatened because at the time, gaming was a big revenue generation for Facebook. Examples like this is countless, and here are reasons why we should avoid building another corporate network centered around Superapps. So here's the question I want to ask you guys. What if Superapps are built in the open? Will that change all of these governmental interference in Asia? Will it expedite consumer app growth in crypto? And how can we avoid building another corporate network if everything is happening in one place? Here's the status quo. And honestly, 2 years back, my first year at Denver, all three of these bullet points are impossible, but we're here. One, users own their content and identity on chain, DID. Now we actually have consumer apps that tie all of your identity together. Number two, no central authority can arbitrarily remove content or force integrations. I think this is kind of the ethos of crypto. Everything should be decentralized. The user should own their content. And lastly, interoperable databases. When you log on Facebook, your username is not going to be the same as the one for Riot Games or the one you're using for PayPal. Imagine a decentralized identity where all of the databases are catering to one name, and you no longer have a fragmented identity. And we're all here, and this is all achieved at this point. I think where we should be right now is actually creating a seamless UX across on-chain apps. Let's be real, on-chain apps are still like a little janky and hard to use. I think you still see like crazy transaction hashes. A lot of these very complex ideas aren't obfuscated. The other one goes back to that RSS and email argument. There's really no good incentive structure to help reward on-chain devs. We had ideas about DAOs. We had ideas about on-chain rewards, like what Stacks.io is doing. But how can we keep the on-chain devs in one ecosystem? I think Superapps could actually help power that. If we create a really good incentive structure on building mini apps on the open protocol, creators and developers directly earn, and having a distribution platform with so many users using it could really help devs just like contribute to the space. I think lastly is ditching multiple single-purpose apps. I have like 20 things bookmarked in my Coinbase Wallet browser, and it's so hard to just like find these apps. They honestly, sometimes they all look the same. What if there's a world where we could access blockchain with ease and just ditch all of these single-purpose apps and go into one place? And I'm not saying that there should be one app that dominates everything, like how it's happening in Asia. I think there should be an ecosystem of blossoming super apps, and we're constantly learning from each other on how we can improve each of these feature sets. And we're actually inching closer, which is really exciting. So today I'm going to share a couple examples from the crypto space today that is already somewhat a super app. Farcaster launched Wallet 3 days ago, and now you have a really powerful social media platform embedded within a wallet. You can send tip creators. You can tap a frame, which is essentially mini apps, and conduct transactions in frames. And it's fully on the blockchain. I think what's really powerful about this one is if we could integrate on-chain wallets with social and messaging, you can start to see that WeChat example come to life. What if your local barber or your local nail salon took Farcaster wallets addresses, and you can just wire some ETH on base to your technician? I think that's where the reward system and like the point system can come in and get the whole flywheel going. The other one is more on the Solana land, Vector.fun. I think this was the hottest app of the last 2 months. The Tensor guys are extremely talented, and this is their take on social trading. I think this one is still a little bit more degen forward. Users can share and broadcast trading activities in real time. It's super community-centric, so you're kind of following like a top trader and copy trading. I think this is still very much the extract cycle of meme coins. But what's really interesting about this one is you're starting to see some social network effect budding up. People are sharing their P&Ls on X. They're sharing their gains, and people are excited about trading. And I think if we can build a super app around trading and integrating wallets, this one will be a really good app to watch out for. Last one is a more established player, Ton. So this is Telegram's open network. You've probably seen this cute hamster at some point in your life. This is Hamster Combat, one of the top Telegram mini apps of last year. It's a Telegram gaming game finance app. And what's really awesome about Telegram is that they've already established themselves as a huge player for end-to-end encryption, file transfers, and messaging features. Now they're doubling down on mini apps and interactions with DeFi. And I think just using the app, it feels very clean and smooth. And they have a really good developer incentive program to keep the developers going because they have so many users already. Cool. So lastly, I want to leave you guys with some notes. Here are the 4 things that we touched on today: social, messaging, trading, and payments. They're all 4 different apps right now. I think in Web 2, you have Facebook, you have potentially Telegram, trading, you have some sort of product like Robinhood, payments, you have PayPal. In Web 2 today, in Web 3 today, you have Farcaster, you have Telegram, you have Coinbase.com, and for payments, you probably use something like, if you're in a swap pool, you use Uniswap, or you use like a Phantom wallet. What if all 4 of these could layer up to rewards for builders and building on an open protocol? What would that world look like? And I think it will land super perfectly into a single super app where devs are incentivized to build mini apps on top of. They can decide if they want to leave the ecosystem anytime. They have the option to go into other ecosystems and try out new super apps. But just having an open protocol where everyone can build together and really maximize that snowball effect of a super app and getting a lot of users using one product or multiple super apps at the same time. Cool. There's a saying at Base, and it's LFB, let's fucking build. But I'm really excited to see all the devs I'm looking at right now, we're in this room, to explore the ideas of Superapp. And yeah, don't be a stranger. Come say hi or connect with me after the conference. Thank you.